After a one-day delay in Las Vegas, it is showtime at the Thomas and Mack as the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo is about to get underway. Tonight, Friday night, the first performance of the 2023 and 65th annual Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Hi, everybody, from Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics. I'm Steve Kenyon, joined again this afternoon, as we will be all week, by the commissioner of the Women's Rodeo World Championships, one of the greatest rodeo families in the world, Lindsay Sumter, and by the CEO of Next Gen Rodeo and Rodeo Logistics, Clay Dean. Lindsay, this is nobody knows better than somebody from the Rosser family, one of the most exciting times of the year.
Yeah, it was funny. We were talking about it today. It's like a family reunion for so many people when we come to Las Vegas. I'm just excited that the tragic events that happen at UNLV are going to be not behind us. It's always going to be on our hearts, and we have thoughts and prayers to everybody involved. But we're going to move forward, and we're going to, good old Cotton Rosser style, the show must go on.
Yeah, Cotton would be very, very proud to see the show going on for sure. Clay, let me ask you about this opportunity, a brand new opportunity for Next Gen Rodeo, now Next Gen Rodeo Media, to get involved in all of this.
Yeah, how exciting we're out. We get to be a part of the best 10 days, shrunk down to 9 now, of the National Finals Rodeo, the capstone of the year for all the cowboys and cowgirls, where everybody that's competed in a rodeo event want to be, right? They want to be in the Thomas and Mack, in that yellow arena. And one of the things that we're excited about that we get to be a part of is to bring, daily coverage, recaps, to the contestants, to the fan base out there, and, how exciting and lucky we are.
So we are getting ready to kick this thing off. In case you missed it yesterday, the performance last night obviously canceled after that tragic shooting event on Wednesday at the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. That performance, in case you missed it, will be held Wednesday morning. It'll basically be a closed performance to fans. There might be 1,200 people in that 17,000-seat arena watching. That'll be Wednesday. Let's talk about Friday. We're getting ready to kick things off, and let's start by talking about and just reminding you about the payout. This is the highest-paying National Finals Rodeo in history. $30,706 just to win a go-round. That used to be the average not that long ago, Lindsay.
I remember when Wade was competing here, he would win maybe $15,000 when they won the round, and a great week was, 60, 75, 80,000. And now that's probably a poor week for the contestants that are here at $30,000 go rounds.
If you can win, go ahead, Clay.
Well, I was just gonna say, $30,000 for first, but always, paying, what is it, 6 deep each night?
Yeah.
These guys get a chance to put some money in their pocket, move up the ladder.
If you can win on the final night of the rodeo, both the go-round and the average in round 10, you're going to walk out of here with over $110,000 in one night. There's the average, $78,747 to win first, $63,889 to win second. It pays $7,428 will be the last hole in the average. We won't start talking about the average for a few days, but there is going to come a point where we're going to be looking at that big dollar total in that aggregate and saying to ourselves, this is a potential game changer right here.
It always is.
Yeah, and it starts tonight for a lot of these people. You take, the bareback riding, you take in the barrel racing, those big leads that those, guys and girls have. It starts tonight. They got to make a clean run, and they're probably we're not gonna see as much probably aggression in some of the events. People going at the average, you might see someone down the 13th, 14th that's trying to get that round win. So the aggregate, it starts tonight.
It's strategic too. If you go out in a round, you want it to be the first one, because then you can go at every single go round. There's going to be a lot of butterflies. There's a lot of first timers here at the NFR this year, and so when we're looking at the strategic plan of what's going to happen for these contestants at the NFR, I would say a lot of tonight is just going to be get those butterflies out of the way and get a time and get your first run out of the way.
Okay, so you are both married to qualifiers to this rodeo. Clay, your wife Cassidy's been here in the barrel race. Lindsay, Wade's been great in the steer wrestling for a lot of years. Have you ever talked to him about how do you approach this and go round number one? What'd they say?
Well, Cassidy in 2015 won go round number one. She came in, I think, 8th in the world, and, that aggregate mattered. She tipped a barrel later on that cost her a world championship, when she made it. But round one, she won the round. What a great feeling to start off the week, and you get to put the rest behind you.
Wade always went at every single run like it was a one-header. It was always important for him to just go out every single one.
So that's the way the dollars break down. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at the draw on the bareback riding tonight. There are 5 first-time qualifiers in the bareback riding. You'll have a chance to see what they're getting on, and we'll talk a little bit about the horses and the matchups. That's on the way. Thank you for joining us for NFR Central from Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics.
Welcome to the Next Gen Rodeo app, your one-stop source for everything rodeo. Live scores, event updates, exclusive content, and a community that lives and breathes rodeo. Connect to the next generation of Western events. Subscribe today and get exclusive access to events and the content surrounding them. Next Gen Rodeo app. The future of rodeo is in your hands.
Just 10 days of rodeo in Oklahoma is coming, and it all starts with the WCRA Stampede at the E. January 3rd through 6th at Lazy E Arena. Feel the rush of the Stampede come alive with 200 of the world's toughest and fastest rodeo athletes competing for the $1 million Triple Crown of Rodeo. This is real rodeo. WCRA Stampede at the E. January 3rd through 6th. Tickets on sale now at lazye.com.
This is NFR Central. This is a brand new project. This is our first day getting ready for our very first performance tonight of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo live on the Next Gen Rodeo Facebook, social media app, live on my 8 Seconds Media Facebook page, and we thank you all for joining us. We'd love to hear your thoughts as we get ready to kick off round number 1 of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And we'd like to go through the NFR tonight event by event, and of course the first event will be the bareback riding. And the bareback riding pen of horses tonight is called the Flashy Hoppers. That's what the guys told me we're looking at. There could be a lot of big scores out of this pen of horses tonight.
A lot of big scores. A lot of these horses are going to come up here and set up, and we're going to watch these guys show off like they're on a spur board or on a bucking machine. These horses are going to stand up there and just kind of top and kick in one spot.
Are we going to see 10 guys ride tonight?
Oh, I think we'll
all
see 10 guys
15.
ride tonight, and I think we'll see some big
15.
scores. There's some guys that I think you need to look at, Clay. Jess Pope, the reigning world champion, he's a ways down on the list, but if you take a look at the graphic, he gets on True Grit. That's a Wayne Vold horse. Tim O'Connell's been 86.5. Orrin Larson's been 88 at the NFR on that horse. Tim O'Connell's got the horse that Casey Field won the round on a year ago. Bronc Riding Nation. I think that could be a great matchup. Clayton Bigelow was 90 on that horse at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Cade Saulnier's got the horse that he was in a 3-way tie for a split of the lead in Cheyenne. He's getting on Irish Eyes from the Sankeys. Those are just some of the great matchups we're looking at tonight.
I'm going to go with Keenan Hayes on Flying U's Little Red Hawk. They're going to be 80, 87, 88 points. Obviously, I have a tie to that.
Right.
That horse has been here 13 times. So to have a rookie bareback rider winning the world right now, getting on that horse, it's going to just be a show the whole time.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with Tim O'Connell. We talked about it on our show yesterday. I think Tim O'Connell, he's a veteran. I think he's got a chance to upset Keenan Hayes' phenomenal year. He's got a great horse to start it out on. He's going to win 30,000 tonight. He's going to score 89, 90 plus.
Clayton Bigelow's got a horse they were 88 on. Leighton Berry in Houston. Cade Berry was 86 on in San Antonio. Shady Nights. I want to ask you a question about Little Red Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Cade Saulnier is 20 years old. Are the horse and the kid about the same age?
Keenan Hayes is, yeah.
Keenan Hayes, I
Keenan
mean.
Hayes, yeah. I would say, probably fairly close. They're all chasing the high mark score for round number 1 is Richie Champion, and he was 91.5. So that's what the high mark score for round 1 is. I mean, there's a chance that could be moved tonight.
Yep, I'm going to keep an eye on Cade Saulnier and Irish Eyes and see what he gets done. So that's the way the bareback riding draw shapes up. And top to bottom, there are a lot of really good horses. Remember, the Pickett Pro Rodeo Company brought a bunch of bareback horses to town. Shady Nights is a Pickett horse. Night Delta is a Pickett horse. I talked to Cole Reiner earlier today. He's got a horse called Sheila from C5 out of Canada. Said he doesn't know anything about the horse, but the horse must be really good because it's in the first round of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Let's turn the page and talk about the steer wrestling. And in the bulldogging field, the first man to nod his head is a cowboy named Don Payne from Stephenville, Texas. He comes in the number 15 spot, and he gets to be the guy that they will all watch when they test the barrier tonight on this bunch of steers.
Absolutely. The start is going to be the most important, and it's going to be a lot of pressure to put on Don Payne right there on his first run at the NFR. first time he's ever been here. It's going to be interesting to see. He's gonna ride Dr. Pepper. So there's a lot of really, really good bulldogging horses. 2 horses of the year are here. I see my pick for tonight is going to be Ty Erickson. He's got Matt Reeves hazing for him, and they have a lot of success in this building.
I just got to go back to it. We started off with the bareback riding. Steve says Tim O'Connell. That's my pick yesterday. We steer wrestling, and you say Ty Erickson.
That's your pick.
Absolutely.
Did I steal your pick?
I love it. I think you're on the right track.
Oh.
It's going to be interesting. You mentioned 2 horses of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Brown on Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back with Dalton Massey, the 2 Oregonians, on Eddie. Tyson, multiple-time horse of the year. Eddie, 2023 horse of the year. I'm really interested to see what Dalton Massey does. He won $193,000 over the course of the regular season. That puts him in the number 1 spot in the world standings. That's a regular season earnings record. He had a chance at the Canadian finals to maybe knock off some jitters. He did not have as good a Canadian finals as he wants to have. And right behind him is a guy that he really grew up bulldogging with. From Baker City, Oregon, Jesse Brown, who's riding the great horse Tyson. Earlier today at Cowboy Christmas, I had a chance to catch up with Jesse Brown. We're here at the National Finals Rodeo. Cinch booth. Jesse Brown is number 2 in the world standings in the steer wrestling. I guess it's the old Oregonian in me that watched you and Dalton Massey grow up. I'm really thrilled with this setup in the Bulldog where you guys come in 1-2.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Being real good buddies and both from Oregon and coming in 1-2, and it's exciting. Race for the gold buckle is cool.
You tweaked your knee in Pendleton. You were able to power through and win Sioux Falls, and then you took some time away. How you feeling?
I feel good. 2 months off, healed up, pretty good. It gets a little sore, but I'm ready to go.
Tell me about horses. You're riding one of the greats, Tyson.
Yep, I'll be riding Tyson. 3-time horse of the year. Been solid forever. Been awesome for my career, and he knows this building well, and I know him, so he's an awesome pick.
You are there. You're going to run the cattle you would have run last night tonight,
Yep.
So you keep the fins even, right?
Yep. So that's the first pen is going to be the California herd, and I went out there for a week and went through them, so I know them pretty well. And then it'll just move on from there. So Wednesday will be around 6.
What are the steers like this year, Jesse? Are they bigger, smaller? I know they're divided up into 4 pens, but
yeah, we got this first pen is probably going to be the most even, I'd say, just middle of the road, and then we kind of got a weaker pen and then a strong pen. I think round 3 will be our hard runners,
right,
and stronger on the ground.
Tell me about life at the NFR. This is your 4th National Finals, right?
4th National Finals.
We're here now. You're signing autographs. How many people have to help you behind the scenes?
It takes a lot. Curtis is taking care of horses and stuff because I'm riding his. But I'm busy all day, running around doing interviews or signings.
Right.
And it's cool. I came on the tunnel here, underground tunnel from Resorts World for the first time.
Right.
It's kind of cool. Just rodeo in general. There's a lot of people behind the scenes.
Jesse Brown, good luck. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Steer wrestler Jesse Brown, number 2 in the world. Jesse Brown from earlier today out of Cowboy Christmas gave us a couple of minutes to visit about getting ready for tonight's National Finals Rodeo. If you were watching the Pendleton Roundup, you remember that really interesting accident that he got into at the Pendleton Roundup when he tore up his knee. Went on, and 2 weeks later won Sioux Falls, and now here he is coming into the NFR. He's had time to rehab, and he's healthy.
Yeah, it was a scary wreck at Pendleton. He had a terrible concussion as well as tearing up his knee to come back at Sioux Falls and have so much success. If we look at the field, it's anybody's game always in the steer wrestling for some reason. The spread of money is not quite as much. Dalton's coming in number 1. He broke the season earnings record, but there's $30,000 a night. You can come from 15th and go all the way up. We watched Jason Miller do it a few years ago, but it's anybody's game.
Clay, who do you like?
I'm going with Ty Erickson.
You're going with Ty Erickson. Great horse, great champion, world champion.
Well, I think it helps too, on that piece. One thing we didn't talk about was, the hazing side of things, right? It's not like team roping where there really is a partner, but there really is a partner. And I think, some of that veteran will come into play.
Real quick, who do you like?
Tonight, I like Ty Wagsback. I like Ty Erickson. Those guys have Eddie, and they have Curtis Cassidy with Tyson. I mean, there's a lot of really good horses, but the hazing is going to come into play. Ty Erickson told me today he has Matt Reeves. They've been here before. They know the game.
We will see what happens. Keep an eye on Tyler Wagyu's back. He's riding a great horse he calls Cheese Whiz throughout the course of the beginning of this NFR. We're going to take a timeout. Team roping, saddle bronc riding on the other side of this break. Thanks for joining us. This is NFR Central.
We're back at AT&T Stadium. The Women's Rodeo World Championship is returning to the NFL's Dallas Cowboys home during the PBR World Finals. From May 13th to 16th, the Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth will host 4 days of competition. The championship round will conclude on May 18th to 19th inside AT&T Stadium, where every event champion will receive a minimum of $60,000 with a guaranteed purse of over $750,000. The WRWC is the richest women's-only rodeo. Both professional and challenger cowgirls can qualify by earning a position in the leaderboard top 20. Nominate your efforts by April 14th, 2024 to qualify. To get started, go to the App Store, download the Women's Rodeo app. Join us for the richest women's rodeo of all time, May 13th to 19th. Nominate today or visit us at wrwc.rodeo.
You're watching NFR Central on Next Gen Rodeo, Next Gen Rodeo Media, the Next Gen Rodeo app, and the 8 Seconds Media Facebook page. Along with Lindsay Sumter and Clay Dean, I am Steve Kenyon. We're talking about the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Tonight is performance number 1. All of the stock, just in case you were curious, in the timed events, the cattle that should have run last night are the cattle that will run tonight. It's important to the guys to keep that as we get ready to talk about the team roping, because the first round pen is also the 4th round pen, the 7th round pen, and the 10th round pen. This pen of cattle and the tie-down roping, the team roping, and the steer wrestling is the one pen that will run 4 times during the course of this rodeo.
You know, they go through all the stock, the team ropers, the calf ropers, and the steer wrestlers. They go through the stock, and they get to choose the pin that goes that 4th time. Everything else will just go 3, that one pin. So this is going to be, in my opinion, probably the best pin of cattle that are here.
You know, and we're going to see, I think, round 1, fastest time, I think I've been told, is 4 flat for round 1. You're going to see that broke tonight.
Yeah, it could be very easy. You take a look at teams 14 and 15 on that graphic. Caleb Driggers and Junior Negata, and then Tyler Wade and Wesley Thorpe. Coming into this NFR, there's a split. The number 1 header is Caleb Driggers. He's back-to-back now coming into the number 1 spot. The number 1 healer for the first time in his career is Wesley Thorpe.
Yeah, I look at Tyler Wade and Wesley Thorpe to be electric in the Thomas and Mack. I know that Junior and Caleb are so amazing together, but I mean, T. Wade, he's got it figured out when he gets across the line right there and gets it on the horns. And then Wesley Thorpe, he's always right there.
I'll tell you one thing that's real impressive to me with watching Tyler Wade rope on the fast setup like this is, you know, he does such a great job of getting up over his horse and getting his tip down and really making sure he ropes those steers. And he ropes them so fast. And, you know, you got Wesley Thorpe back there who, you know, he can rope just about anything. And he takes a really smart shot. He's going to make sure he's going to catch 2 feet, and they're going to be really dangerous.
There are 3 teams that did not rope together during the course of the regular year whose partners did not qualify, but I think all 3 of these teams are lethal. Clay Smith and Peyton Bray. Clay, of course, is a 2-time world champion. You know a lot about his horse. He's riding a horse of yours, actually. Clay. Peyton Bray, Resistol Rookie of the Year, former NFR average winner. Nelson Wyatt and Jonathan Torres, I think, have roped together a lot in their life. They both come out of the Southeastern Circuit, and Jake Clay and Tyler Worley. Jake is a young guy, then Tyler Worley sitting there in the number 15 spot on the healing side.
And I'll tell you something that's interesting about this as well, as Peyton Bray is riding Brady Miner's horse, Sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a horse of the year.
You know, I know that Wyatt and Jonathan, they went to the intro rodeo at Northside, and they won that. So I think that they're, you know, having a lot of success together, and they did a lot of practicing just to make sure that, you know, because you got to find your mojo, you got to find your mesh. Tonight, I think that it's going to be a pretty cool thing.
We had a chance earlier today to spend some time with the number 1 man in the world standings, Caleb Driggers. Wrangler National Finals Rodeo getting underway. The first performance tonight. This is the 2-time and reigning world champion, Caleb Driggers, coming into this NFR number 1 for the 2nd straight year. How big a deal is that to you?
You know, it all goes back to the support that we get from our family, our sponsors. It's a long battle throughout the season, and to come in here season leaders is special to me as winning the year, the winning the world. just because of all the different obstacles that you have to overcome throughout the year with different setups, different horses. But like I said, it's not possible without our sponsors and family members, and a lot contributes to Junior and his family as well.
Yeah. We're at the Unbeatable Feeds booth. What have they meant to you?
You know, I come on with them last year, and just the consistency that we get with the feed all the time, you know, and I've said it multiple times with not only going different places, and, you know, they are in Tractor Supply, they're in getting into the feed store, so being able to have access to it all year long is huge for us.
Yeah. Caleb, let's talk about the situation you and Junior and the team roping is about as close an event as any event that there is. The team roping and the saddle bronc riding are all separated by just a few $1,000s.
Yes.
Do you care?
You know, honestly, last year we had a pretty good lead, but if it's not a substantial lead, it doesn't matter here anyways. Right. It can be 1,000 or it can be 30,000. It all changes in one night anyway. So we just have to do our job, and we've prepared really hard for it, and just let muscle memory take over and try to do the best we can.
You and Junior Negata are not just team roping partners; you're best friends.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a blessing to get to rope with him. We have really good chemistry together, and we get along inside and outside of the arena. So that goes a long ways for us.
If you don't mind, tell me about Wednesday. The craziness in Las Vegas, that tragedy that delayed the start of the rodeo night. You guys were actually at grand entry rehearsal at the Thomas and Mack when all that was going on.
Yeah, we started lining up just like always. You know, Alabama, right on down to Georgia. So we're sitting there and we're just waiting. And we ride in just like everything's normal. And when we walk into the building, they're just like, oh, no big deal, just hang out for a second. And then everybody else started coming in. So that was kind of unusual, because normally on that practice, they're kind of, hey, this, and this, and get your butt going. And so they're like, we're just going to hang out here for a second. And then we hear rumors if there was a shooting or whatever. So everything was kind of chill in there we sat in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours probably. And took our group pictures, everything, just kind of waiting on them. And then all of a sudden, the announcers throw the mics down. They say, everybody on the arena floor right now, nobody in the tunnels. And then we just see up above SWAT team coming in, and we're like, holy cow, it's getting real now right here. And we probably sit there for 5 or so minutes, and then felt like eternity. And then one of the SWAT team comes down the stairs and said, hey, everybody out the west end, get going now.
Right.
And it was scary, and it's sad for the bosses.
Yeah, and you think about it, we've got a chance to uplift Las Vegas tonight.
Yeah.
The NFR's been uplifting Las Vegas for years. We've got a chance to do it again tonight.
Yes, sir. Yep, that's what I'm wearing red for today, is to in symbol of that.
Yeah. Caleb, talk to me about horses real quick. What did you bring? How many? Will you stay on one the whole time? What do you think?
You know, that's kind of up in the air. I actually bought one from Jason Stewart that I was planning on riding after the run-throughs the other day, and he has a strained suspensory, so he's going to be out. So I'm going to be back on my number one Cuervo that I've been riding for the past 2 years, and just going to take it day by day. He's been really sound. This place is kind of hard on him, but hopefully he can make it all the way through, and then after that, we're just going to play it by ear.
He could very easily leave here a 3-time world champion. That's Caleb Driggers joining us, and we say thank you. Good luck,
Yes,
Caleb.
sir. Thank you.
Go get him. Caleb Driggers. It's always fun to have a chance to visit with Caleb Driggers, of course, the 2-time and reigning world champion, and he and Junior Negata are one of those teams. They're part of the group that you run to the fence to watch.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of really great teams, Speed and Rich, and, anytime Trevor and Patrick were together, you always kind of wanted to watch them. And now Caleb and Junior have done that together. They're electric. They have their timing down. I think the only time that things ever get in a bind is when Caleb gets it on him too fast and they get in the corner and, he can't get faced and can't get things tight. So they're just, like you said, fun to watch.
Tonight it's hard to think about making a pick right to win the round, because the average plays such a big part in this, and this race is tight, right, Steve?
Yeah.
It's really tight from top to bottom, and these guys, they don't want to miss. They want to make a clean run, so you don't really see them just going at them. I think a lot of it has to do with, what steer, who draws the right steer and who pings the barrier. Tonight I think someone who really ropes really well and ropes fast, gets it on them fast. I think Tanner Tomlinson is someone to watch for the round tonight.
Yeah, and remember, Tanner and Patrick Smith set the average record last year. Here's another team I want you to keep a close eye on tonight. Keep a close eye on Dustin Agaskiza and Levi Lure. Clay just talked about getting it on him fast. Dustin Agaskiza might get the rope out of his hand faster than any header in the PRCA. He lets it fly. How that works in this little tiny arena, we're all going to find out together tonight at the Thomas and Mack. The team roping, both heading and heeling, and the saddle bronc riding, in terms of money separation, are the closest events coming into this NFR. Stetson Wright in the bronc riding has got a $4,000 lead over Sage Newman in the number 2 spot. The guys that are getting on tonight, they're getting on the Hopper pen of horses in the saddle bronc riding. There you see the 15 bronc riders and the draw that they have. There could be some high scores. Dawson Hay on Pendleton Roundup's marquee. Keep an eye on that one. Wyatt Casper's got OLS Tubbs Little Muffin. I talked to the bronc riding director earlier today. He said if that horse is fresh, keep your eyes out. Last year, they split the go-round on Rubles. Brody Kress found himself in the number 1 spot. Sage Newman set a first go-round record last year with an 89-point ride on Rubles, and that's one of the oldest horses in the field.
Yeah, it's a great, I like to call them the happy hoppers. You know, these guys love getting on horses like this. Every time they're just honest, head down, kicking over their head. I mean, this is when it's fun to watch the bronc ride, and this is the classic event. This is like them in their rocking chairs. So I personally, I want to see Cade Bruno on Brookman's Raging Lunatic. I want to see him win the go-around, or like you said, Dawson Hay on Sankey's marquee. I mean, that's gonna be a pretty good matchup, those two.
You know, saddle bronc riding is really, really exciting because those guys ride so well. And, you know, and you like to see the flow and you like to see the timing of the horses. And I think, you know, one to really watch tonight for round 1 is on C5 Rodeo trump card is Rider Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I mean, there's so many great horses in that pin, and you know, they're probably not going to get Sage Newman's 89 point tonight, but I see these guys being 88 and a half to win the round tonight.
Zeke Thurston has got a horse called Vain Reflections. It is not the biggest name horse in the field, but I talked to a couple of guys today, and they say on that horse's best day, that horse really stacks up right in front of the bucking chutes and gives a guy a chance to show off. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with Stetson Wright. His horse, Double Red, tonight maybe is not the horse to win the rodeo on. But you know what Stetson can do. He can be 23-24 in a spur ride on a 24-point or on a 20-point horse.
Absolutely.
And make it an 88-point ride.
And he's trying to win the Triple Crown.
Right.
He's wanting to win the world title in the saddle bronc riding, the world title in the bull riding, and you know, the all around. I'm pretty sure he's got that one a little wrapped up already.
I think that's probably a fairly.
Yeah, for sure.
You didn't crawl out too far on the limb on
No.
that suggestion right there. Let's turn the page and talk about the tie-down roping. And the tie-down roping at the National Finals Rodeo, you know, ever since that night 25 years ago when they were 7 flat and then they were 6-9 and Jeff Chapman jumped out and tied one in 6-8, the tie-down roping from that point on really has become a fan favorite. There are so many great matchups. You look at 2 of the most veteran guys on that list, Tough Cooper, number 15, Hunter Heron, number 14 in the standings, and then you look down at the number 2 and 1 spots, and you got a couple of kids. Shad Mayfield, who's actually at his 4th NFR, but is only or 5th NFR, but is only 23 years old, and Riley Webb at his 2nd NFR in the number 1 spot, and he's only 20.
It's amazing. You have, like you said, Tough Cooper at number 15. There's no jitters coming into what the start's going to be for Tough Cooper. There's no jitters for Hunter Heron. Those guys they're machines when they get in this Thomas and Mack. You know, Tough Cooper didn't have the best NFR last year, and so I see him coming for revenge big time when it comes to his performance here this year.
So do you think Tough Cooper's going at him coming in 15th?
I think he's going to go at every single go round, 100%.
I talked to Tough at back number night on Tuesday night, and he basically said that. He said, I don't have any pressure. I'm 15th in the world.
Yeah.
It pays a lot. Can I jump from 15th to 1st? I don't know. Just take it round by round, see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, Riley Rebb coming in with $280,000, number 1, 20 years old. He didn't have his best NFR last year either. So I think that he got that first year NFR out from under his belt, and now he's going to go try to win the world title.
Shad Mayfield comes in number 2. He's won $202,000. He's $78,000 behind Riley Webb. There's one thing that Shad Mayfield has never done in his career: have a good NFR. He's got an interesting guy in his corner this year. Shad says keep him level-headed. That man is an 8-time world champion and a Hall of Famer named Fred Whitfield, who will be helping Shad throughout the course of this National Finals Rodeo. Kincaid Henry's qualified for his second Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. I had a chance to talk to Kincaid, who, remember, took 2 victory laps last year at the NFR, about coming back to try it again. Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, second-time qualifier, couple of times a college champion, Kincaid Henry, 9th in the PRCA's tie-down rope and world standings. You won 2 go-rounds here last year. What'd you learn?
You know, I learned a lot. You have to be on the barrier to win, and I'm riding that good horse Mario, so I feel like if I hit the barrier all week, it's going to be an awesome week.
Now, remind me, is that the same horse you had here last year?
Yes, sir, same horse. He's healthy, he's good, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
What's this arena like to rope in? What did you learn from last year's NFR that you can bring to this year's?
Yeah, you know, just kind of like I said, you have to hit the barrier, get around the neck, and then after that it's flanking the time from the post. You know, this setup, it really fits my horse, and this is his deal, you know. So, like I said, I'm ready for it.
I remember how much fun you had on that first victory lap a year ago. You split it with somebody, I forget who. Marty, that's right. And you're kind of looking around like, okay, now what do I do? Follow me on the victory lap, son. Let's see if you can get a couple this year.
Yes, sir, that's the plan. Thank you.
Go get him. Kincaid Henry joining us on 8 Seconds Media and Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics. 2-time college champion, second trip to the National Finals Rodeo. He's already won 2 go-rounds in his career. Remember last year I talked to him about this in the interview. He split around with Wesley Thorpe, and the television cameras were on him, and it literally looked like, okay, now what do I do? Wesley Thorpe, or not Wesley Thorpe, I'm sorry. He split a go-round and ended up following the veteran that won the round around the arena with him. And we'll see what happens tonight as we get into go-round number 1 of this year's Wrangler National. Marty Yates is who I meant to say.
Well, you know,
yeah.
you know, speaking of go-round number 1, I think it's important to think about, you know, the average, like we talked about in the team roping, right? You got Riley Webb, Shad Mayfield, and those guys. I think they're going to be, you know, trying to figure out that start. They get to go towards the end. They're going to want to go catch them, tie them down, flank them, and just keep the fundamentals correct. But then you got those veterans down there who I think might unleash and go at them. You got, you know, Tough Cooper down there coming at them first. And I'll tell you one that I really like that I think is fun to watch tie down a calf is Weston Hughes. Yeah. And I think that's going to be my pick tonight.
He blows through him. Lindsay, what do you think?
Well, they're chasing a 6 and 8 is the fastest time for round number 1, you know, historically. So I say I can't go against number 7, Caleb Schmidt and Pockets. They are just the epitome of consistency when it comes to being here in the Thomas and Mack. I love watching them rope. He can let cattle go a little bit further and be just as fast as anybody else in the pen.
I'm going with the horse of the year, Bugsy, and the guy that rides him, Shane Hanchey, the 2013 world champion. We will see what happens in the tie-down roping as we get ready to kick things off tonight. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the Cowgirls of the Women's Professional Rodeo Association and one of the most impressive fields of horses. And I know we probably say this every year, but top to bottom, there are 15 great horses with 15 great jockeys about to enter this arena. And we'll talk about a little bull riding. Can Stetson Wright win a Triple Crown? Well, he's got a pretty good bull to kick off the night with tonight. We're coming back with more. This is NFR Central from Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics.
Have you nominated with the WCRA to qualify for the Cinch World Championship Junior Rodeo? Over $200,000 added money at the legendary Lazy E Arena in Guthrie, Oklahoma. The top 16 on the WCRA DY leaderboard in each discipline will qualify with no entry fees. The leaderboard top 16 will be seeded into the semifinals round with a chance at a World Championship with a cash bonus. Download the WCRA DY Rodeo app and hit nominate to qualify for one of the richest youth rodeos in history. Visit us at dy.rodeo and nominate. DRA's International Finals Rodeo is back. January 11th through 14th at Lazy E Arena. Feel the true grit of a cowboy and the adrenaline of intense competition with the world's fiercest rodeo athletes compete for the IPRA World Championship. The culmination of the richest 10 days of rodeo in Oklahoma. This is real rodeo. The ultimate celebration of America's Western sports tradition. The 54th annual IFR, January 11th through 14th. Tickets on sale now at lazy.com.
You're watching NFR Central. We're glad you've joined us this afternoon from Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics with Lindsey Sumter and Clay Dean. I'm Steve Kenyon, and we're getting ready for go-round number 1 tonight of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. The bucking horses and bulls that they drew for the first round last night are the bucking horses and bulls they'll get on tonight. The schedule will be a little bit weird all the way through probably Wednesday morning when that extra performance is thrown in to make up for the one that they missed last night. But Las Vegas Events and the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association have been able to keep up the tradition of a 10-go-round NFR. There will be a moment of silence to pay tribute to those who lost their lives in that tragic shooting on Wednesday on the campus of the UNLV. The contestants were actually in the Thomas and Mack when that happened. They were having grand entry practice at the moment that took place, and they all were very well aware of what was going on outside at the Thomas and Mack at the time. Let's talk about the barrel racing event, the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, and the highlights of the barrel race are going to be numerous, I think, this week. As you take a look at Brittany Posey Tanazi, who will be first out on the ground tonight, she set a record, the most money she has won in her career, even the first year that she won a world title. In the regular season this year, Jordan Briggs, the 2021 world champion. Emily Beisel will start on Chongo. Tacey Matthews, Pop Rocks, was the horse of the year this year. Tacey, of course, the college champion at her first NFR. Pop Rocks got hurt. This Bud the Stud horse, Heavenly Firewater, that's a JL Dash to Heaven stallion offspring. Tacey's family's had that horse for a long time.
Yeah, she's had a lot of success on him too. He's a little bit older. I hope that he can take it through the 10 rounds with her. I know that it was devastating to have her horse go down, but Bud the Stud is a pretty special athlete.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good horses we're going to see tonight. What I think the biggest, question was Brittany coming in, and which horse was she going to start on, right? Titan or Benny? And it looks like she's going to start on Benny, and top of the ground. She's going to set the pace. But there's some other really good horses, obviously. And one not to count out is probably one of the most winningest barrel racers of all time. That's Cassie Mowry on Will.
Right. Cassie Mowry is, Cassie's an interesting story every year because she can win $1 million a year at futurities.
100%. She's probably one of the winningest jockeys. She can legitimately get on and make anything go around the barrels, in my opinion. You could put her on a pickup horse or a head horse or anything, and she'll figure out a way to get him to go around the barrels. She's a jockey. She's a hand. There's so many great horses, but the other one that I really like is Sue Smith. She's trained a lot of NFR barrel horses. She didn't go to that many rodeos. She just kind of won pretty well in the summer, and coming into here, her and Hef are going to be one to watch as well.
Keep an eye on Sue Smith, and remember what happened in the championship round of the Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo. Summer Cosell, who held the arena record at the time from South Dakota on Apollo, jumped out and broke her own arena record, and then Sue Smith came in behind her
and smashed it
and broke that arena record and ended up winning the Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo. And, oh, by the way, nobody talked about 17-time NFR qualifier Lisa Lockhart on Levy, who is 7 this year. Last year as a 6-year-old, that horse had Lisa in position to maybe, up until the 9th go-round, win a world title.
Well, you beat me to it because that's my pick for round 1. I'm going with Levy.
My pick for round 1, I'm going Brittany and Benny. They're first on the ground. They're going to capitalize on that. I would watch for an arena record to possibly be broken with those two tonight.
I'm going to keep a really close eye on Haley Kinzel. She's a ways down on the ground. She is number 13, and they're going from 1st to 15th tonight. And then remember, in the WPRA at the NFR, they rotate 2 spots each night after that. But Haley actually won this go-round, has won this go-round, and holds the record in this go-round.
1351.
Sister is fresh.
Yep.
It's been a while since Sister's made a barrel run.
Yeah, and they're just dynamic. They have so much consistency together. Every time you think they're going to run by a barrel, here they come and they win around.
Actually, Sister can blow by the first barrel. I talked to Haley about this one time. I said, it seems to me like your horse almost knows when she's done something wrong. She says if she makes a mistake, she trips, she stumbles, she gets mad, and she goes even faster. So we'll see what happens with Haley and Sister tonight. So let's turn the page and talk about the bull riding. And this is the pen of bulls tonight. I talked to the bull riding director, Cody Rostocki, earlier today, and he said this is the pen of bulls that is out tonight and will be out again and go round number 6 that they will probably ride the most. And you look at those matchups, if you followed the bulls at all this year in the PRCA, there are some really intriguing matchups. I really like Josh Frost on OLS Tubbs' Ugly Wish. That's a Ward Muxa bull out of Canada. I like the rookie T. Parker on Rico Suave. That bull's a spinner. They make a lot of big scores on that bull. You got to keep an eye on Creek Young on County Jail. They were 88, 90 on that bull all over the place the last 2 years.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the entire list of bulls that they brought into the NFR. I think that they looked at it and brought a bunch of bulls that they want to see guys maybe make 10 rides. I think that they left some of those. I know that the eliminator pin and everything is going to be really tough, but I think that when we look at this, I think it's interesting to see that the average bull score is going to be around a 22, 23 point bull. And so it's kind of a cool thing that hopefully they brought a pin of bulls that these guys can ride all 10 rounds.
Yeah, that's one thing that's exciting, right? We want to see these guys get to show their talents and go 8 seconds and, make it, a fun night of bull riding. We know it's going to be hard to catch Stetson, right? But, to see good rides, see good bulls buck, and, them putting their minds together to make that decision, I think is great for the rodeo community.
Sage Kimsey's bull, Dirty Dave, is a bull his brother, Trey, has won a bunch of money on. Stetson Wright gets on a bull called Hercules from the Rafter G. Not as many outs, according to the guys that I talked to. That bull lives up to its name. It is big, it is stout, and it is one that Stetson could have an opportunity to have a really good night on tonight. So that's the way that it looks. Real quick, give me a name.
I think Stetson Wright's going to make a statement.
Sage Kimby's going to ride Big Stone's Dirty Dave for 86.5, 87 points, and they're going to win the round tonight.
Trey Holston has got a bull called Love the Grinds Bouchon. If you were watching the Extreme Bulls finale and the Pendleton Roundup, Stetson Wright won both the Extreme and the Pendleton Roundup on that bull. Keep an eye on that bull. And the young gun, Trey Holston, at his second NFR out of Kansas. Keep an eye, too, on Tristan Hutchings. He's got Gladiator's Hammer. He was 89 on that bull in Cody, Wyoming. And, of course, Tristan Hutchings won the last go-round of the NFR in December of 2022. He was the only guy to ride in that round, and that was worth a cool $93,000 in his pocket. So there are a lot of potential round winners in the bull riding tonight. The guys that will be protecting the bull riders, Nate Justice out of Wyoming, Oklahoma, and the cowboy named Cody Webster, and Wyoming again for Dusty Tuckness. Dusty and Cody combined have won the last 14 Bullfighter of the Year awards in the PRCA. They're both going to be in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame someday. Webster just won his 4th straight. A couple of days ago, I had a chance to catch up with Dusty Tuckness and Cody Webster to talk to them about getting ready to fight bulls for 10 nights in a row at the NFR. Well, I got a chance to catch up with two guys who are both going to be in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame someday. Cody Webster, Dusty Tuckness, between them 26 times have fought bulls at the NFR. Dusty, you were a kid when you first started. This your 15th appearance.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to look back on. Just all I can say is God's good, and we're just glad to be back and fixing to get into him here in a couple days.
Nate Justice isn't here. He's the third member of the crew. You guys work really well together.
And we got a real good, strong team, and we get to fight bulls at a lot of really good rodeos throughout the year, and just like Dusty said, it's going to be an action-packed 10 days, and we're ready to let the dogs out.
There's something about this thing. You've got the greatest pen of bulls in the world that you're going to fight for 10 days. Do you look at them? Do you research them? Do you do any homework on them, Dusty?
Not really. I mean, a bull's a bull, and he's going to be as bad as you make him, like one of our mentors, Rex Dunn, used to say. So you got to take each bull as anything can happen and will happen, and that's why we do a lot of training and preparation before we even step foot in the arena. So, on hindsight, we're ready for anything, and we can expect anything, and the chemistry and the routine that we got going, I mean, it's hard to explain, but you can't beat it.
Last question. The last 14 years, I think I got that right, one of you's been the Bullfighter of the Year. How cool has that been?
It's pretty neat. We'll be sitting in the locker room and get to thinking and talking about things, and it's really hard to really think because, Miles Hare, Rex Dunn, Rob Smits, all them guys before us, and that's all you ever heard about was Smits and Hare, and when we really sit down and think about it, I guess, that's kind of what we're doing, and it's been a lot of fun, and dang sure been some hard days and some days we probably shouldn't have got up, but we got up and kept rocking and rolling. So we're excited to be in Las Vegas, and I feel sorry for the Bulls.
Cody Webster, Dusty Tuckness, Nate Justice will be the third man of the crew. These are the guys that are going to save lives during the bull riding, I should say, here at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Two of the greatest of all time in Cody Webster and Dusty Tuckness. As like I said, they've got the last 14 Bullfighter of the Year awards belong to those two guys. So, by the way, Lindsay, you checked the record books. If somebody wants to set the go-round #1 record tonight, all they got to do is beat 8X,
Yeah, just 94 points with Donnie Gay. No big deal. I mean, could you imagine a 94-point ride that many years ago and what they've done with the genetics of the bulls and everything? I mean, that had to be a heck of a ride.
Oh, yeah. It's 94. You just don't see it. But I tell you what, there's a group of guys out here and a group of bulls that anything can happen.
This is like I said when we started this segment talking about the bull riding, this is the pen of bulls. They should maybe ride 8 or 10 out of this pen of bulls tonight to get this national finals rodeo started. And then after that, they start to get a little scary, and we're talking about eliminator pins and things like that. So that's the way that it goes in the bull riding tonight as we get ready for this opening night of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. So that is your bull riding, and that's a look at what we can expect tonight from the Cowboys and the Cowgirls of barrel racing as we get into this opening night of the 2023 65th Annual Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will talk about what happened during the annual awards presentation. Who were the winners of the Rodeo of the Year awards and the Stock Contractors of the Year? All of that we'll tell you coming up. Thanks for joining us on NFR Central.
There's one more product I think that's real important to rodeo contestants and athletes, performance horses that Purina has, and that's the Super Sport. Tell us a little bit about the Super Sport and some of the studies that you've done with some of the horses at the farm and what you've seen from that product since y'all come out with it.
So that one was actually pretty groundbreaking. It's when I try and explain it to people at first, I kind of equate it to what a weightlifter would do when they leave the gym and they pound a protein shake to try and replenish and rebuild muscle after they cause all that damage when they do a workout. And Super Sport is really it says protein on the bag, but we like to think of it as more of an amino acid supplement to help repair and replenish muscle after hard work or something that would actually stress the horse to a high degree. So the initial studies and projects we did with that are on the high-speed treadmill we have at the farm. And we would run horses until we had stressed them the same way you would if you went out for a run and your legs got a little bit sore. We would push horses right up to that edge. And then we would feed the horses Super Sport and watch recovery rates. And we could actually watch things like CK as a typical marker that you look at when a horse ties up or when they have muscle damage. And we would see recovery rates almost half when they were fed Super Sport versus just a plain diet, pelleted diet. So looking at that, that one had about 8 or 9 years of work, and we actually worked at the University of Guelph at the same time utilizing their exercise physiology program. At the same time we were doing ours to try and speed it up, and it still took 8 years to refine that one and tweak it, but it's worked incredibly well for us. We got a ton of the people out here on it. We got a lot of 3-day eventers that use it. Some of the Olympic team that we have, they use it as well.
Nice.
Guys, before we let you go, where can people find you during this National Finals Rodeo?
We are at Cowboy Christmas. We're at the Convention Center. We're booth number 921. And then if you're actually going to the rodeo, you can't miss the trailer right out front, and you can
It's
listen.
pretty easy to spot.
It's pretty easy to spot. And we've got Luke and Coleman out there doing those interviews every night. So if you want to stop by and listen to those two chatter, it's kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is for sure. Clay, thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all. We appreciate it. And
thank you.
What is it? Feed greatness, right?
Feed greatness. That's right. That's right.
Appreciate your partnership.
Yeah. Thank you.
The guys from Purina are here. Scott Campbell, Mike Jarina. We'll be back with more from NFR Central. Big thanks to our friends at Purina. You can find Purina. They've got a stage set up every night. If you're coming to the National Finals Rodeos, you're walking into the Thomas and Mack, and an event that is hosted every night. I'm actually headed over there tomorrow night, I think, to spend a little bit of time with them. Coleman Proctor, Luke Branquino, they host it, and that's a lot of fun from the folks at Purina.
Oh, those two guys are fun, aren't they? Luke Branquino and Coleman Proctor. You better be on your toes. I tell you what, I'm going to get you an energy drink before you go. How about that?
I will need it with Luke and Coleman. Welcome
wits.
back to NFR Central as we count it down to the opening night tonight of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. The voices of 3 of the all-time greats, Roger Mooney, Randy Corley, who's already in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame. Andy Seiler from Florida works his second NFR, and they will be the in-house announcers that will be entertaining the crowd tonight at the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. The annual awards banquet held on Wednesday night at the South Point Hotel and Casino. This is the event every year where everybody finds out who the rodeos of the year, the horses of the year, all of those awards are handed out. Let's take a look at some of the award winners. Thank you to the folks who are behind all of this. And we start with the Neutrino Horse of the Year award winners. Shane Hanchey will ride Bugsy into the arena tonight. Dalton Massey will ride Eddie in the steer wrestling.
Absolutely. And, Eddie has 3 runs here, and Tanner has done such a great job. Canadian Horse of the Year as well.
And we talk about Turbo, Patrick Smith. That is the back-to-back 2-time Healing Horse of the Year.
Yeah, I love that part, right? Because those horses, they go all year long. They get competed on. They got to stay strong. They got to stay healthy, and they've gotten these guys where they are. And it's great that the PRCA and AQHA, and they're willing to recognize those horses.
And their fellow contestants are the ones that nominate and vote for those horses. So it's cool that your compadres are the ones that get you there.
So let's talk about the people who are behind the scenes and make professional rodeo work. I'm talking about the members of the rodeo committees across the country. There are more than 800 events this year in the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Your John Justin Standard of the West Committee Man of the Year, Wade Garrett. Congratulations to him. They also handed out awards in media to the Cowboy Channel and Carly Peterson for 100 Rodeos in 100 Days, and to Sports Illustrated Rodeo, which is a brand new venture. And we appreciate Sports Illustrated coming on.
I congratulate Carly. Carly works so hard. She's an amazing producer for the Cowboy Channel. She travels all over the country helping get that 100 Rodeos in 100 Days, and Carly is very deserving of that award.
Well, these awards are something I think is a little bit overlooked sometimes by the rodeo community, and I think people forget about it. It's not just about the cowboys and the cowgirls that are competing and the people that are behind the scenes making it happen for these contestants, and it's great that we're able to recognize them.
There's a look at your Pendleton Whiskey Litterbuck Stock of the Year, Nightcrawler of the Pickets in the bareback riding, Explosive Skies of the Calgary Stampede in the saddle bronc riding. That horse has been both great in the bareback riding and the saddle bronc riding. Bayou Bengal from Pete Carr. That's his very first bucking bull of the year.
And congratulations to Birch Rodeo for Remuda of the Year. They have been breeding bucking horses in Rosette, Wyoming for decades, and to have them finally recognized for that Remuda of the Year is huge.
Yeah, and there's no surprise that Calgary's got a horse up there, right?
Yeah. And congratulations as well to the Heston Sewing Good Deeds Award winner. The rodeo in Gunnison, Colorado got the keys to a brand new tractor. And in Gunnison, if you're not familiar with what they do at the Gunnison Cattlemen's Days, they're one of the biggest Tough Enough to Wear Pink rodeos of the year. They actually have 2 vehicles they've been able to purchase for their Tough Enough to Wear Pink program. So if someone lives in Gunnison but needs a ride to Denver for medical treatment, things like that, the folks in Gunnison are there for them. Congratulations to my friend Click Thompson, the PRCA's Photographer of the Year this year. Those folks all very, very important parts of what we do in the world of professional rodeo. So let's take a look at some of the folks who entertain in the arena. John Harrison pulled off a triple header. He was the Coors Man in the Can, the Clown of the Year, and the Dress Act of the Year.
And he's done such an amazing job. His new horse act is so fun to watch. John has been in this industry. He actually bought my Roman riding team when I was 13 years old. So John has been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I said the Dress Act of the Year, Comedy Act of the Year. For John, the Dress Act of the Year, you see Bobby Kerr. If you were there in the building or if you watched the telecast of the awards banquet the other night, the Dress Act of the Year was funny. Bobby Kerr went up. He's got a broken leg or his foot in a cast. John Payne was a nominee. He's got one arm. Madison McDonald was a nominee. She's going to have a baby. Ryder Kisner and Bethany Isles were there. Ryder was limping. He just had surgery on his hip. It was a very and Haley Gansel had her foot in a cast. It was kind of a crippled group of specialty entertainers, but they are all some of the best that we have in pro rodeo. Josh Edwards, the Pickup Man of the Year, his second appearance at the NFR. Cody Webster, his 4th straight Bullfighter of the Year award. Eva Chadwick, a back-to-back Secretary of the Year award, and congratulations to Anthony Lucia, the Announcer of the Year.
And very well deserved with Anthony, another one of those fellow rodeo brats. We all grew up together, and Anthony has done all sides of the arena, from helping with the Contract Act with his dad to being a competitor and then starting to get into announcing, and he's just done a great job, and hats off to him. Very much a congratulations.
Yeah, I was very happy with Anthony. There's not very many people that you meet in the industry that are as good of a person as Anthony Lucia, who is so passionate about what he does, wants to do right, and is a good person. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations to all of those folks. So let's take a look at your Veterinarian of the Year, Dr. Tim Eastman from the California Rodeo in Salinas. Donnie Gay posted on Facebook shortly after the Frontier Rodeo Company received that Stock Contractor of the Year. Of course, Donnie's got 8 gold buckles. His post was something about Now there's a 9X. Frontier has won 9 straight Stock Contractor of the Year awards.
That's pretty phenomenal. But if you look at the Donita Barnes Lifetime Achievement Award with Scott Walden, Scott has been behind the scenes for rodeo for many years, running the boards for Copenhagen Skull to now, the real life that's going on. Scott has been very influential with a lot of careers within the rodeo industry. So congratulations to him.
Now let's salute the rodeo committees and talk about the committees of the year. The Gem State Classic in Blackfoot, Idaho, I'm a little partial to. I announced this rodeo. The late, great Chad Nicholson was their first announcer, and I was the man who tried to step into Chad's shoes in the 7th year in Blackfoot. But they have won 2 Rodeo of the Year awards in their first 12 years of existence in Blackfoot. Red Lodge, Montana, their first medium-sized Rodeo of the Year. The large indoor Rodeo of the Year, the Sutton family has won several of those awards in Rapid City. And the large outdoor of the year for the 10th time, Letterbuck, the Pendleton Roundup.
Oh, Pendleton, what a fun rodeo. No surprise that they can win that again, right?
It's so fun to watch the Green Mile, watching those girls go all the way across the grass. It just has its own dynamic. Hats off, congratulations to them.
The Pendleton Roundup, represented by a cowgirl who grew up in Pendleton. Her father was involved in the rodeo business. She's been involved in the Roundup her whole life, and now she is the first woman to serve as the president of the board of directors of the Pendleton Roundup. Her name is Tia DeGroft. I had a chance to talk to her. So the Pendleton Roundup just won its 10th Large Outdoor of the Year Rodeo, Large Outdoor Rodeo of the Year award. This is Tia DeGroff, who is, I think, a Pendleton native, right?
Yeah, correct.
And now the first woman to become the president of the Pendleton Roundup board, and you just got to accept this award.
It's such an honor. We get asked all the time what makes Pendleton so special, and all I can keep coming back to is it's the people. It's the restaurants that welcome people in and the hotels that welcome people. It's our volunteers, it's our staff, it's our board of directors. Really, the special sauce just sits down there in that little bowl that we call Pendleton, Oregon, and we're really proud to bring home number 10.
The interesting thing about it is the grass arena is so unique. It gets a lot of conversation. But the thing that really makes Pendleton special to me is everything you just mentioned coming together into one with a great rodeo orchestrated by a small board of directors and a couple thousand people from the community that step up and volunteer.
Yeah, I don't think people recognize that even like our concession stands are run by charities in town. So if you're buying a beer at the Pendleton Roundup, you're supporting our wrestling association. Right. If you're buying a corn dog, it's the Lions Club. And it's the same groups every year. Our mission is really to support our community, and I think that's what keeps us so passionate and keeps us trying to strive for these kinds of awards. It goes back to the people.
Tell me about this year. I was there on Wednesday and Thursday, and I saw 2 of the biggest Wednesday and Thursday crowds. Dirty little secret, Thursday's usually not the biggest crowd. It's sometimes the smallest crowd of the 4. I thought the attendance this year was out of sight.
The attendance was through the roof. We set a Wednesday-Thursday record. Thursday for sure. Friday, Saturday are always pretty close to sold out, if not sold out, and we were pushing that on Thursday. So we're really excited. I just think the momentum continues to grow, and we choose our stocks so that no matter what day you show up, you're going to see a really great rodeo, and we pride ourselves on that. So no matter what day you get there, if you can't make it for championship Saturday, Wednesday is going to be equally as great of a performance.
As a Pendleton girl, how much does it mean to you to have this opportunity to stand at the head of the Pendleton Roundup?
As a little girl, I dreamed of being queen, and I accomplished that. I watched my dad be a director. I'm a second generation director, and this is just something that the more that I've grown, I have a background in sports marketing. I really just kind of set my sights on how I can better serve the community, and whether that was on the board or whether that was being president. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm just so honored that Pendleton trusted me with this honor, and it's not something I take lightly. We'll do everything we can to make sure 114 is the best one yet.
It's going to be something special. Last question real quick.
Yeah.
The impact of the Pendleton Roundup. Pendleton, Oregon's a little town of 17,000 people. It's in a bowl. I don't know that it can grow very much. It's been the same population for a long time. What's the impact of the Roundup on that?
We have about a $68 million economic impact, and so really everything from our hotels to the shops, it's kind of Christmas for us in September, and we always kind of make a joke that the calendar revolves on before Roundup or after Roundup in Pendleton, Oregon. So it's really important to us, really special, and we're tickled pink that this is number 10 that we can bring home to our community.
September 2024. Let her buck.
Let her buck.
You got it, Tia. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Tia DeGroft, who is now the president of the Pendleton Roundup Association, and just won the Large Outdoor Rodeo of the Year award here at the PRCA's Awards Banquet. The Pendleton Roundup, this year's large outdoor rodeo of the year in the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. Thank you to Tia DeGroft. So before we go this afternoon, let's talk about a big event that is happening right here in Las Vegas, Clay, that Next Gen is very involved with. Next Gen Rodeo is a part of the All-In Barrel Race.
Yeah, the All-In Barrel Race, by Group W Productions, Chris Woodruff and his daughter Autumn, they put together. And, it's a very interesting race. 625 runners in race 1, which today is actually round 2. So everybody runs round 1, they run round 2. Everybody's guaranteed 2 rounds. And what they do is they take the top 15 from each day back to what they call the showdown round, which will be tomorrow. And the showdown round is kind of a clean slate, pays multiple different places. They actually have a high-stakes race that they added this year with a little bit extra money for people to double down when they're already running. What a great race, and people come from all over the country to this event at the Orleans, and Chris and Autumn and their crew, they do a great job. One of the most impressive things about the Orleans in the All-In Barrel Race, they run 70 an hour. For those that know barrel racing, a lot of them run about 50 an hour. They run 70 an hour at the All-In Barrel Race in Las Vegas.
That is impressive because you're right. I mean, the races we go to, 50 an hour we feel like we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do such a great job keeping the ground safe.
Oh, yeah.
They come in there's multiple tractors. They're making sure that the conditions are as equal a playing field as they can for 600 runs.
They have a big youth championship race. It's a part of their race 1 that they're running this weekend. There's a lot of kids, I think over, 250, 300, kids running in that youth championships race. So for all the families back home that their nephews or cousins or just family friends, if they want to see how they're doing, they can go to the Next Gen app. They can search their name, and they can go watch the videos of their friends and family and see how they're doing at the All-In Barrel Race.
That is one of many events that are going on in conjunction with the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, as the NFR is officially going to kick off in just a couple hours from right now as we get ready to go to the Thomas and Mack and see what happens on the opening night of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. You can go to the Next Gen Rodeo app and find out about all of the events that Next Gen is involved with here during NFR time in Las Vegas at the National Finals Rodeo. Lindsay, Clay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's 1 down and 9 to go. 2 down and 9 to go.
Do you have anxiety for tonight, round 1?
I'm just pumped. Let's do this.
Yep.
Let's buck them. I'm ready. Let's do it
Viva
now.
Las Vegas is going to be playing before you know it, and we're about ready to get it all started. Thank you for joining us for NFR Central from Next Gen Rodeo Media, powered by Rodeo Logistics. I'm Steve Kenyon for Lindsay Sumter and Clay Dean. God bless everybody. We'll see you at the Thomas and Mack.